Hollywood legend and a British sex symbol that almost derailed both of their careers. Who are we talking about? Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here. Nice to see you. Today I thought I'd share this particular memory with you because, I don't know about you, at this time of year, you do have a look around, don't you? A bit of a clear out and start looking in boxes, things like that. It's normally when you've got lots of bills to pay and you think, has that run out again already? Are you with me? I know, but I'm right though, aren't I? You think insurance, water rates, gas, everything's going up. And you kind of think, I can't believe, how much was it this time last year? And that's when I find these certain things, I'm a little bit, shall we say, not disorganised. I know girls will tell me off for this, but I kind of know where things are. Fellas are like that, aren't they? You know what we like, men. We know where things are. We don't necessarily think it's in the right order, but it'll do. We'll eventually find it. This all really took me back to meeting an absolute legend, in my opinion, of course. Played Napoleon on screen and really was one of the sort of hell-raising actors of his era. We're talking about the ever-brilliant Rod Steiger. Now, I have a bit of a connection to Rod Steiger because I was lucky enough to interview a former squeeze of his in, of course, the beautiful Claire Bloom. But, of course, Rod, I've got to tell you the story. I bumped into Rod outside the Langham Hilton Hotel in London, and the reason why he was there was he was doing an interview. I think it might have been Desert Island Discs for the BBC, and this was really towards the end of his life. It was around the period that he'd hooked up, allegedly, with the ever-brilliant, also, Elizabeth Taylor. They were just pals, they were never romantic, let me tell you. But Rod was just standing on the doorstep of the hotel, and I was coming out, I was staying there at the time, and I thought, my goodness, that's Rod Steiger. We got chatting, and he was absolutely charming, really, really nice guy, and really was, I think, dare I say, a little bit flattered that someone had recognised him. We ended up having a cup of tea together, and more importantly, he decided to reveal some Hollywood secrets about this particular blonde bombshell favourite of mine, Diana Dors. Now, Diana Dors was signed to RKO in the late 50s, and she was, as always, Britain's answer to Marilyn Monroe. Why they needed an answer remains to be seen. Diana was great fun. Sadly, I only ever met her very briefly once, but I did become very good friends with her late son, Jason. And Jason really was a rather troubled boy, but a nice guy to say the least. Jason told me about Diana's time in Hollywood. It was all really explosive. She had a massive party, people fell into the pool after a fight, and basically she was told to go home. But then Diana fell in love with her co-star from a movie called The Unholy Wife, Rod Steiger. Now, basically, Rod backed up this story and said that he felt bad for Diana at the time because he felt that her studio, which was partly owned at the time by Lucille Ball, following a sale from Howard Hughes, that nobody was really giving her the credit or indeed the attention needed to make her an international success. He did confirm that they were a very strong item, but he had no intention of marrying the blonde bombshell. She was very keen to move forward with him because she had a very troubled relationship with her manager and husband, Dennis Hamilton. Now, lots of people since then have confirmed this story to me about Rod and Diana. Basically, the film bombed, and he said that he didn't understand it because it was a very strong story, and she indeed was a brilliant actress. He said many years later they met up in London, and they both agreed that they'd made a huge mistake in not staying together. But by this point, Diana had married a third husband, Alan Lake, hence the reason I knew their son Jason. And of course, Rod himself had had a rather checkered life. But he did say that he felt slightly guilty because while his career went from strength to strength, Diana had to return back to the United Kingdom, and some might say rather lackluster films, and the international fame that she'd basically craved from being a rank starlet, that is, rank film organisation starlet, never really truly came her way. Now, if you haven't checked Diana Dors out, do. She was a very versatile lady, brilliant actress, comedian, singer, cabaret star, but more importantly, had a brilliant acting pedigree. She could have gone on far, far much further. Sadly for us, she was taken at a very early age due to cancer. Rod Steiger himself told me he never truly got over Diana Dors, and neither have many men and ladies over here in the United Kingdom, and I'm sure worldwide. Rod, thank you so much for the memory. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.